Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Internal Audit Insights. Today, we're going to be talking about servicing QC. I'm Mignon Davis, and I'm joined by Cassidy Tim. Together, we run Internal Audit here at Freddie Mac. All right, let's dig in. Cassidy is going to start us off today by talking about the goals of the Servicing QC department.
Yeah, so the goal is to verify loans that are being serviced are in compliance with investor policies and procedures, applicable state and federal laws, ensure servicing personnel are following policies and procedures in order to identify patterns of errors that may require training. And then another thing is also good to consider or remember that the servicing QC needs to be independent.
All right, so Fannie, HUD, Freddie, they all have requirements for servicing QC. So if you retain a servicing portfolio, you need to be performing QC over your servicing loans. So servicing QC requirements are a little less specific than what we see outlined for originations for pre-funding and post-closing QC. However, HUD does give us some guidance about their requirements. They need to be monthly QC reviews, and the sample needs to be 10%. However, it doesn't outline the frequency of the areas that need to be reviewed. It just says servicing areas, all servicing areas need to be reviewed, but doesn't necessarily say that they all need to be reviewed every month. But something does have to be reviewed monthly. Fannie Mae, on the other hand, in their guidelines, they require servicing control testing as well, but the timing and the frequency of the testing, they say, is based on the size and complexity of the servicer's portfolio. So you have a little bit of a leeway there with regards to HUD and Fannie Mae in meeting their requirements.
Yeah, so since the guidelines are a little vague, it is very important to develop a methodology and framework and document that rationale for the timing and frequency that you decided upon. Also, keep in mind that this should be revisited if you have any significant changes to your servicing portfolio that may warrant a more or less frequent review. Again, this applies whether you're servicing loans in-house or using a subservicer. We often hear clients who use a subservicer say that a subservicer is performing the QC. Typically, this actually isn't the case. We usually find that the subservicer is doing a monthly QC review, but those usually are loans in their portfolio or over all of the loans that they service, and oftentimes not meeting your company's servicing QC requirements. So your determined methodology states that you should be QCing 10% of your servicing portfolio each month, for instance. The chance your subservicer is selecting the volume you're needing in their own QC sample typically is rare unless you have worked with them and it's been included in your servicing agreement. So we recommend that you work with your subservicer to understand what they're doing for QC and whether or not you need to be doing a QC review above and beyond what they're already doing.
Right. So for your sample selections, you're going to want to stratify your sample selections based on some defined criteria, such as the investor of the loan, Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie, private investors. You want to stratify it by loan product, which could be investment properties, second homes, ARM loans. You want to sample high-risk loans, such as early payment defaults, servicing transfers, ARMs, loans that are for properties in natural disaster areas. You'll also want to look at default administration, which is typically considered high risk, collections, loss mit, foreclosure, bankruptcy. Those are all areas of high risk. Also, you'll want to make sure that there's a process in place to check employees regularly against the exclusionary list. This is required by Fannie and Freddie. And we typically see clients do this at least annually, but sometimes more often.
All right, and then the last thing we want to touch on for servicing QC is you want to make sure you have reporting around this. So you should be having management reports, so reports that go to senior management that identify discrepancies that were found within your servicing department. This report should include loan level detail that's categorized by severity of the finding. It should also analyze patterns and identify the root cause, and then it should also detail specific corrective actions and include the responsible party for each action item as well.
All right. Thank you so much for your time today. We hope you found this information beneficial. If you have any questions or would like to discuss how Freddie Mac can help you, please contact us. We've helped a lot of clients determine how often and what their frequency should look like for servicing QC, so we can absolutely help you with that. And next time, we're going to dive into another one of our internal audit hot topics. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time.